Welcome. I'm here to tell you a story. Get ready for an adventure unlike any other, where emotions run deep and unexpected twists await around every corner. Grab your headphones, get comfortable, and let's dive into a world where love, betrayal, and heartache collide. Trust me, you won't want to miss a moment of this journey. Are you ready to experience a story that'll stay with you long after it ends? Let's go.
My name is Lara. For 10 years, I thought I had it all: a loving husband, a cozy home, and a life built on dreams we shared since we first met. My husband, Daniel, was my rock, my safe haven, and the person I trusted more than anyone in the world. But life has a way of testing us in ways we never expect. It all started the day Daniel's younger brother, Aaron, came to live with us. Aaron had always been the wild card of the family, a charming adventurer with a devil-may-care attitude. He had been traveling the world for years, never staying in one place long enough to settle down. When his business venture collapsed and left him without a home, Daniel welcomed him into ours without hesitation. At first, I was happy to have Aaron around. He brought a fresh energy into our quiet lives. He had endless stories about the places he'd been: the bustling markets of Marrakesh, the tranquil beaches of Bali, the chaotic streets of Bangkok. Listening to him was like escaping into a different world, and I found myself drawn to his vibrant spirit. One evening, while Daniel was working late, Aaron and I sat on the porch, sipping wine and talking about life. He told me how he'd always felt overshadowed by Daniel, the perfect son, the responsible one, the one who always did the right thing. "You're lucky to have him," Aaron said, his voice tinged with sadness. "He's the kind of man who can give you stability, a real life." I assured him that he was just as remarkable in his own way, but I couldn't shake the vulnerability in his eyes. That night, something shifted. Aaron and I began spending more time together. It was never intentional, at least not at first. Daniel worked long hours, and Aaron was always around. We'd cook dinner together, share laughs over silly movies, or talk late into the night about dreams and regrets. I found myself looking forward to his company in a way that both thrilled and terrified me. One evening, as we were tidying up the kitchen, our hands brushed while reaching for the same dish. I felt a jolt, as if the air between us had suddenly become electric. Aaron looked at me, his eyes searching mine, and for a fleeting moment, it felt like the world had stopped. I pulled away, my heart pounding, and mumbled something about needing to check on something upstairs. I spent that night staring at the ceiling, battling the guilt that gnawed at me. I loved Daniel, of that I was certain, but Aaron had awakened something in me that I couldn't ignore. One day, Daniel left for a week-long business trip. That evening, Aaron and I found ourselves on the porch again, sharing a bottle of wine. The conversation turned personal, deeper than it had ever been before. Aaron admitted that he had always envied Daniel, not just for his success, but for the life he had built with me. "He doesn't know how lucky he is," he said softly, his voice heavy with emotion. I should have stopped him. I should have walked away. But instead, I listened, drawn in by the sincerity in his voice. He reached for my hand, his touch sending shivers through me. "Lara," he said, his voice barely above a whisper, "you're the most incredible woman I've ever known." Tears filled my eyes as I pulled my hand away. "Aaron, we can't. This isn't right." He nodded, his expression filled with regret, and we sat in silence, the weight of unspoken words hanging heavily between us. When Daniel returned, he sensed the tension immediately. I tried to act normal, but my guilt was a storm I couldn't contain. The breaking point came one evening when Daniel overheard a conversation between Aaron and me. It wasn't an affair, not physically at least, but the emotional connection was undeniable. Daniel confronted us, his voice trembling with anger and pain. "What's going on here?" he demanded. I tried to explain, but there were no words that could undo the damage. Aaron admitted his feelings for me, and the look on Daniel's face broke my heart. Aaron left the next morning, and the house fell silent. Daniel and I tried to piece things back together, but the cracks in our marriage were too deep. The trust we had built over a decade had been shattered, and no amount of effort could repair it. In the months that followed, I threw myself into work, trying to find solace in the routine of daily life. Daniel and I eventually separated, and I moved into a small apartment downtown. Aaron and I didn't speak again, and I never learned where he went after leaving our home. Looking back, I realized that what happened wasn't about love or passion. It was about vulnerability and the human need to feel understood. I made mistakes and I paid for them, but those mistakes taught me the value of honesty, the importance of boundaries, and the need to confront emotions head on rather than letting them fester in silence. Sometimes life tests us in ways we don't expect, and we make choices that change everything. But even in the midst of heartbreak and regret, there's a chance to grow, to learn, and to become stronger. This is my story, and I hope it reminds you to cherish the ones you love and to always choose honesty, no matter how hard it may be.
Thank you so much for joining me on this emotional journey. I hope this story resonated with you and sparked some powerful emotions. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an unforgettable story like this. Your support means everything, and I can't wait to share more with you soon. Until next time, take care, and remember, love is never as simple as it seems.